Hey everyone, welcome back to some more esports talk. Thank you guys for tuning in. We do appreciate it. We are covering more Activision Blizzard as we have another update as the shareholders actually fire back. They have sent out a letter with their own demands to the company, and of course this is following their own lawsuit that they have launched. If you guys aren't familiar with the situation, as usual, I suggest you go watch all the videos. I can't cover everything in detail in a single video. Essentially, there's been sexual allegations against Activision Blizzard of a lot of different natures in a lot of different reports. We had thousands of employees sign a letter, walk out, have a strike. We have a lawsuit from California. We have a lawsuit from the shareholders. We've had executives step down. It's a mouthful, as you can tell, just me trying to say all of it. And so now we have an update. We have Megan saying Activision Blizzard shareholders released a letter today demanding changes following management's inadequate response to the company's ongoing culture problems. Looking at this letter, it says, while we appreciate the improved tone and increased detail in CEO Kotick's recent letter to Activision Blizzard employees, customers, and shareholders, the changes Mr. Kotick has announced do not go nearly far enough to address the deep and widespread issues with equity, inclusion, and human capital management at the company. No changes have been announced or proposed that would in any way alter the current process for filling vacancies either to the board of directors or to senior management. No changes have been announced with respect to executive pay, either with respect to clawing back compensation from executives who are found to have engaged in or enabled abusive practices, or to align executives with the equity goals Mr. Kotick articulated. The announced review by WilmerHale is deficient in a number of ways. This firm has a sterling reputation as a defender of the wealthy and connected, but no track record of uncovering wrongdoings. The lead investigator does not have an in-depth experience investigating workplace harassment and abuse, and the scope of the investigation fails to address the full range of equity issues Mr. Kotick acknowledges. So they point out a few things. They say, hey, you haven't said that there's going to be any changes to how you're going to fill these vacancies at the top level of the company, to the executive, senior management, board of directors, anything like that. And also, you haven't said that there's going to be any changes to the salary or the compensation of executives who did already enable those abusive practices that were going on in the workplace. Then third, what's the deal with WilmerHale? We've already had this pointed out by the employees themselves, but WilmerHale does not seem like a sufficient firm for them to use. They suggest the following changes, saying they want to increase board diversity and equity by adding a woman director, one with a history of advocacy for marginalized people and communities by the end of 2021, committing to gender balance on the board by 2025, with at least one seat nominated by current employees, to claw back those bonuses from the executives who did enable the abusive behavior, and award no bonuses for 2021, with future bonuses contingent on the company as a whole. And finally, they suggest undertaking a company-wide equity review. After making these suggestions, they do go on to explain a little bit as to why these are the things that they're focusing on. I won't read all this, but I'll try to summarize the best that I can. But they essentially say that Activision Blizzard is actually behind the average for how many women directors they have, and that some directors have been there for well over 10 years. So they're calling on them to have a fresh board of directors, as well as complying with nominating that employee designated chairman. Then they go on to further explain how they think they need to ensure that the pay practices are aligning with the equity and diversity goals, and that bonuses are appropriately designed and awarded. And yes, we did see these kind of demands before when the employees responded to Bobby Kotick's letter as well. So this is nothing necessarily new, except it is the shareholders getting involved. I mean, we have lawsuits from both California and the shareholders. Now we have demands and letters from employees and shareholders. So pressure is being applied from all directions, I feel like, at this point, to Activision Blizzard to make these changes and to make sure, hey, they're not going to get away with just saying nice words. They actually need to enact certain changes that are going to trickle down and are going to have real results. They're not just going to allow them to get away with not making any of those changes. So let me know what you guys think about all this. I think it's great news. I'm glad to see that the shareholders are investing in the culture of the community as well, and not just worried, specifically about their money, though, of course, their money has been quite affected by all of this, so they want the stock price to go back up. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about all this. Until next time, be safe, be smart, behave, and I'll catch you later.